everyone, welcome back. So, if RJ Decker has been slowly building its charm, episode 5 is where it really clicks, and honestly, it might be the most fun episode so far. Titled Burn Notice, this episode gives up a classic mystery setup and then completely flipped on its head. So, the case of the week revolves around Bryce, a guy who's convinced that someone dangerous is after him and his family. Naturally, all signs seem to point towards something big, something like the Chinese trade, and the episode does a great job leaning into that tension. You genuinely feel like this is about to spiral into something deadly and international. But here's the twist: it's not the trade; it's a little league dad. Yeah, and somehow it works. This reveal could have felt ridiculous, but instead it lands because it's grounded in something very real. How intense and borderline unhinged some parents can get about their kids and sports. What starts as a high stakes crime story turns into something weirdly believable, and honestly, that makes it even more entertaining. At the center of it all, of course, is RJ himself, and this episode really highlights what makes him such a compelling lead. He's not just lucky, he's genuinely good at what he does, whether it's reading people, connecting dots, or pushing past surface level lies. RJ proves he's more than capable of handling complex situation, and what makes him even more likable, he doesn't try to do it all alone. RJ leans on the people around him, especially Mel, even when she's clearly not the biggest fan. And that brings us the emotional core of the episode, this messy, complicated but oddly heartwarming dynamic between RJ, Mel and Catherine. But let's be real, Mel is still struggling. RJ isn't just in her life, he's living in her house, sharing space with her wife, and becoming part of the family she didn't exactly choose to expand. And you can feel that discomfort in every interaction. Some of it comes as frustration, but underneath that, there's insecurity too. RJ and Catherine have this deep, almost unbreakable bond. They are exes, but they are also best friends, and that's the kind of relationship is hard to define, especially when you are on the outside looking in. But what interesting is that everyone else seems to understand it except Mel. Catherine, on the other hand, brings a lot of emotional weight this episode. She opens up about her guilt, about feeling like she wasn't there for RJ when he needed her most before he ended up in prison. And it's clear that her connection to him isn't about obligation, it's about love. Pure, complicated, unconditional love. And that's what makes this trio so compelling. Because whether Mel likes it or not, RJ is family now. Even the parole officer sees it, and I love how she is written not as someone waiting for RJ to fail, but as someone who genuinely wants this situation to work for everyone. She even acknowledges how difficult this must be for Mel, which adds another layer of realism to the whole setup. But here's the thing, RJ is actually making their lives easier. He helps around the house, supports them, even babysits. He's not causing chaos, he quietly becoming essential. And maybe, just maybe, Mel is starting to realize that episode 5 balances mystery, humor, and character development really well. But more importantly, it leans into what makes this show special: found family, because sometimes the people you didn't choose end up being exactly the ones you need. That's it. Thank you for watching.